Guess who's back? It's your boy Art, my sidekick Blow. We got a special guest on us with tonight, Pastor Kuzart. We want to welcome her up to the show. She's been on before, and we have a special show for you tonight. Pastor Kuzart. We want to welcome her up to the show. She's been on before. All right, sorry about the interruption, but we got Pastor Kuzart on. She's been on here before. We got a good show, a great show for you tonight. This is the topic that everybody is always talking about. This is one of the most politicized topics in the world, okay? And it affects us more than it do anybody, and it affects women more than anybody. The name of the topic tonight is Roe versus Wade 2.0. Is the man's voice being silenced in the matter, okay? That's what it's about today. We want y'all to like and share the page. Get over to YouTube if you can. We shared the links on Facebook. You got something, Blow?
No, well, in the matter of Roe versus Wade, I feel like I do kind of feel like it's a woman's decision to be made, whether she have a abortion or not. I don't think it's really like something that the government should really intervene on. I think it should be solely the woman's decision.
Okay, we got Pastor Kuzart in the house, and we want to get her take on abortion, on whether she's pro-life, pro-abortion. First of all, let us say that I'm not against anybody on where they stand on this issue, okay? Because I think everybody got a right to stand where they want to stand. But it is some stipulations that I believe ought to be put in place, and we're gonna hear what the pastor got to say about it, and then Blow, we're gonna make our analysis on it, okay?
Okay.
All right, Pastor, the first thing I want to ask you is that do you agree with the last Roe versus Wade ruling that everything should have been kicked back down to the states and let them sort of like vote on it in each state or whatever and let the states do it? And because I heard people telling me that, well, I don't want 12 old men telling me what to do with my body, okay, or telling women what to do with their body. So do you agree with that?
Yeah, I do. It bring it closer to home, if you will, when it's in the different states, because then it get down to the different counties and whatever. So if it's going to be out there in the government at all, then yeah, it should be more where people can vote their own candidate instead of someone far off making decisions. If that's going to be the way it go, if you will.
Right, I got you. I agree with you. I think they should have kicked it back to the states and let each state handle it. Or if you want to have some kind of democratic process, like you say, you can just vote on it, and then that's more of a democracy, I think, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
And I can agree with that too. But the only thing with that is, you know, that whenever it's you in a state that doesn't allow it, that has people traveling across city and state lines to do it, or doing it unsanitarily and stuff like that.
Well, that brings us to our next question. You know, at what point or do you think there should be some kind of limitations put on it? Do you think it should be a certain month?
Any exceptions?
Any exceptions to it?
But let's roll it back a minute, because whether it's at the state, whether it's at the government, you still got those same issues that Blow just stated.
Right.
That people still going to cross state lines just for the simple fact that they want to get as far away from family, friends, or whoever that they can in order to get it done, and or they're going to go to someone who is not legitimate. So the same issues is going to apply, whether it's at the state or whether it's in or at the top of the government, only because sometimes people don't even want you to know what's going on or what they're doing. So you're going to run into that same problem. It may not be as prevalent as if the government had it per se, but it's still going to be there, and still have been there, and still have been.
Hey, we see you, Sarah and Patricia. Welcome to the show. Today is about Abortion 2.0, Roe versus Wade. The man's voice has been silenced. Okay, we wanted to get into some more topics, the more stuff on this, especially about accountability. Is this an accountability issue? I've heard a lot of men and a lot of people saying, well, the woman just don't want to take accountability for getting pregnant. Or does the man even have any kind of accountability to go along with her?
Yeah, does the man bear any responsibility in a woman getting pregnant?
Right.
Yes, definitely.
Right. Okay. If so, what responsibility does he have to do? Does he have to say, well, no, I'm not getting you pregnant, or can he stop it? I mean, it is over 36 different contraceptives out there, and everything from the night before to the morning after, and everything in between. Can you just take one? Is that part of his responsibility? Go tell her that.
I mean, if the child is born, then the man will complain about child support, baby mama drama, when they be bringing drama their own self. So all of that they go into. So why wouldn't you take responsibility for yourself, making sure you are not creating little human beings into the world that you may not be ready for, you may not be ready to step up to the plate, or you may be making this child with someone that y'all are not even compatible.
And one thing I was talking to Art about before the show is, I think it's like 50-50. I think it's 50-50 as far as a woman that wants to have a baby and the man doesn't want her to have a baby, or a woman wants to have a baby and then the man is like trying to pay to get it aborted. If that makes any sense.
That makes a lot of sense.
I think that's probably half and half. I don't know, what the people in the comments would think, but I would think it goes 50-50. I think it's a lot of men that be like, no, I don't want to have a baby. And then sometimes there's a lot of women that want to have a baby, and the man like, no, can we talk about this?
Right. Well, I will say this. I think the man has been so suppressed in this matter because really, actually, a man hasn't had a voice in this. They don't even mention the man unless a baby comes and it's time for child support or whatever. So now with that being said, the man is I'm going to say he is at a unequal playing field because they have had plenty of men birth controls come out, okay, and the government has squashed them. They has bottomed up and squashed them and wouldn't let them come to market. Now, the reasoning behind that, I can't say for sure, but I believe it's because the man that take the power away from the man, or take a lot of power away from the man. Because if they would, okay, it'd be a lot less. I ain't gonna say that every man would take his birth control pill, but I'm saying a lot of them would.
I want to go to this question right here. I believe since a man cannot experience pregnancy, he cannot exactly have an opinion. I mean, I think he should. I think a lot of times, like they say, mama's baby, papa's maybe.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that kind of plays into that too. At the end of the day, if it's the man's child in you, he should have.
Some say so.
I mean, I don't understand how you alienate the person that you decided to give yourself to. In a lot of cases, I feel like that's what women do.
Right.
Well, but again, let's go back to the beginning of all of this. Every child nowadays, and at a certain age, or especially grown men, they know how babies are made. Right, they know where they come from. So if your attitude in the beginning is that I don't want no children right now, why would you leave yourself open to even happen to create a child? So then you would even have to go through that scenario.
So what are you saying? That both people how to be accountable, held accountable equally?
Right now, I'm kind of just on the man because well, and the reason for that is because the way y'all said that the woman may want the child and the man may not. So that's where I'm focused right now. The man knew going into this relationship how a child is made. He was not dumb. He knew how it the child is made, but yet he still chose to do what was necessary to even start this life. So your accountability for him when he know he don't want children, when he know he's not ready for it, when he know he cannot afford it, is to start before he lay down with the woman. Period.
Okay. Well, let's reverse the roles. The man wants the baby and the woman don't.
Once you get
he wouldn't even have a say so, would he?
Once she get maybe probably not. No, the man won't have a say so. I don't think that is right if the man want the child, but then you got to look at the stress and harm on the woman's body too.
And that's the thing. The woman, the one that has to carry the baby.
Exactly.
So
that's right.
Responsibility on the one that plants the seed or the one that has
that's
to
right.
grow it.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's why she has more say so in the matter. But let's flip the coin around again, because I'm a kind of go back to the man a little bit now. Before you lay down with the woman, know where her priorities are. See, I know that the woman got a lot of say so, and she too should be protecting herself. But we're kind of right now talking about the man either wants a child or the man don't want a child. So in that scenario, why are they not having a conversation to find out where this woman's head is at, what their priorities are before they start engaging in activity that will create a child? So, in other words, all of these one night stands and not knowing your person you're sleeping with, maybe that's where it needs to start.
Yeah, it does. Well, me and Art did an episode a long time ago, and we got to the root of the problem. 100% of all single parents are single because the baby wasn't playing.
Yeah, wasn't in the plan.
Yeah, definitely.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay, so let's take it to this level. The lust is gonna get the best of everybody in these situations in a lot of cases, right? You know, and when lust get the best of everybody in all these situations.
What? Y'all went, the sound went. I can't hear anything. I can't hear. I can't hear. Okay,
yeah.
Now you're back.
Okay. All right. Now, yeah, but what I'm saying is at the end of the day, it's gonna have to be a whole lot of accountability. Yes. And I'm for, since the man is at a disadvantage, he should have some say so, shouldn't he?
Then he should be much more careful, since he know he is at a disadvantage. Now, let's go back to what you said, the lust gonna get the best of you. Let's just remember one thing, that we are not wild animals that cannot contain and hold ourselves. We should be able to make decisions, and lust should not be the ruling factor in our lives, because we have enough sense to weigh out the options, to decide, is this a good move or not? But when you say that lust is going to win, that means that you're out of control. And we are human beings. We are not be out of control like that.
Right.
We're out of control because we want to be. We choose to be out of control. This is all a choice that we're talking about. And we choose to be out of control because we are not going into this blindly. It's not like we don't know where babies come from. It's not like we don't know. And so when you say that lust takes over, that says that I have no control.
Absolutely. I agree. Well, let me ask you this. Do you think the government is playing a part in this by not letting these men birth controls come to the, would it be less abortion? I'm just saying, if the government would let some of these men's birth controls come to the forefront, don't you think it would be less abortions that to happen? What do you think about it?
I mean, possibly.
I
think, yeah, possibly. If a man could take something and it ain't gonna stop him from shooting a live seed for 30 days or something, we might not have no more babies, to be honest. I mean, not as many. We definitely wouldn't have as many.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Wouldn't that curtail a lot of this stuff? Would you have to be out on the streets actually marching? My thing is this: with over 36 different contraceptives, you shouldn't have to be. And abortion, I don't think personally that abortion is, nobody likes abortion. No. I don't care if you're pro-abortion or pro-life. That shouldn't be a good word. That shouldn't be a good thing because, you know, I feel like it's a life.
It is a life.
Okay, so I don't think nobody should glorify it. And I don't think that we really need to be out on signs talking about you want to have an abortion when you're not even pregnant yet. I'm saying you got to, let's start there.
Well, that kind of goes back to what you were saying, Pastor Kuzar. We're dealing with a situation where everybody's out of control. When you have thousands and thousands of women out marching about abortion rights being taken from them, and they're not even pregnant yet.
Right. That's the political part. That's what we're trying to take out tonight. Is let's take the politics out of it. I mean, and see what's going on with that. Men should have been the first ones to put on birth control. Yeah, he can go out and impregnate a different woman every day while a woman sits down for 9 months. that's so good.
What was that?
Yeah, but
what was that?
We had a comment in the comments said men should have been the first ones to be put on birth control, but because he can go out and impregnate a different woman every day while a woman sits down for 9 months at a time, which I agree with that.
I agree with that.
But they don't do that, and that's what I'm saying. What is the government really playing a big role in this thing? And don't they want to control this? Is that what's going on?
I mean, I think with everything that's going on with the man for the last we lost her.
We lost Mary. She'll come back in.
She'll probably come back in. But with everything that's going on with the man in the last 25, 30 years, we got to understand that the man is already under attack. And then you dealing with abortion matters that a man don't even have a voice on.
Yeah, exactly.
A man can say he don't want to have a baby, and then she had a baby, and then put him on child support.
Right. Exactly. We got you back, Mary.
But then again, I'm just going to go right back to the very front door. This is just me, y'all, because the man ought to know going into the relationship whether he wants children or not, because he know that there is always a potential that a child will be created. So if the man is going to be so upset about what the outcome is going to be, that if she get pregnant and I don't want the baby, but then she have the baby and then I'm going on child support, you start from there making sure there is no baby.
Right. Well, I agree.
Well, the thing is, you already got limited say so. You know that from up front. Your say so is limited. So you protect yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, I like this comment because it doesn't always work. And sometimes it eliminates babies from people's lives altogether by damaging them. Yeah. And you're right. A lot of women have abortions and can't have babies after that.
After that, no more. And that's a sad state.
So you're checking in. We see y'all.
We see you, Isaiah.
They should be allowed to sign something to say that they didn't want it. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, well, I think it should be 2 signatures on a abortion.
I do too.
A woman shouldn't be able to go abort a baby without a man being there.
Yeah, I mean, with some stipulations, because sometimes she might not even know who the baby daddy is, as we have seen in some of the Maury shows and all this. They don't even know who's the baby dad. I mean, so you know. You shouldn't, and that goes back, I think, to accountability, Blow.
Yeah.
That's what if, now let's go with this scenario, Pastor.
Okay.
You know, a woman gets pregnant, she don't know who the baby daddy is. She got 10 different baby daddies, don't even know which one. Now she wants to abort the baby. Should that be allowed?
No, I personally, I don't think it ought to be. I don't think it ought to be a government's decision anyway. And I said this, I think, before, that everyone has to do what they feel is right in their own mind. But I think for me, this is just for me, we're leaving out the most important part of this whole concept, that this is not, and this is where I am, this is not what God intended for mankind to start with. Right now, as we said, to me, man is out of control, sleeping with this one, they're sleeping with that one, and all of this kind of stuff. And not only are you creating children, but you gathering a bunch of spirits, you're gathering a bunch of diseases and all of this kind of stuff. This is not what God intended for man to start with. So that is the baseline right there. So since that baseline have gone out the window and nobody is trying to regroup that, then what you got is what we got.
Right. Well, I think that they politicize it too much. I think that they get out here with all of these signs, even though they're not even pregnant yet, talking about we want to have an abortion. I really believe that
I agree.
that money would better be better spent on teaching young children or young ladies how not to get pregnant, and young men for that matter, how not to impregnate a woman. And
I agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, because you're not even pregnant yet. This is the political part right here, getting out there with all these posters and wanting abortion and stuff like that when you're not pregnant.
Well, the only thing I can kind of say to kind of at least kind of combat what you said just a little bit is, Pastor, nobody has control. I don't think I know anybody. There might be somebody in the comments or somewhere out there, but I don't think I know one person who has ever had a child that was planned, who said, you know what, we're going to go in this room, we're going to make a baby and we're going to raise it together. I don't think that happened.
I mean, well, I know a few, but they was in the,
But besides that, I don't think anybody that's not married that has a child planned.
Right. And I agree with that. And jumping back to, that's the way it was intended to be, because the land is supposed to be populated with the next generation and so forth. But as you just said, mankind, and when I say man, I'm talking about man and woman. Man is out of control. Man is only doing what they see is right in their own eyes. And this is the result of that. Abortions, baby being thrown away. Come on, y'all. It ain't just about the abortions that's going on or the do or not to do. It's even about women and men having babies and then killing them on the outside of the womb. So it ain't just the murder is going on in the inside of the womb. It's going on out. If you look and go through one of those news things, everyone will talk about how a child was abused or killed. So this just leads you back to how careful we need to be about who we having kids with. My former pastor used to say all the time, be careful who you have children with, because you don't know them like that. And now here this child is, and they crazy, or the mama crazy, or everybody crazy.
Yeah, and you're right. Yeah, you definitely right. But I can't agree with what you were saying about the way that God meant for it to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you are married and you have a child and you get a divorce, at least y'all are on the same page to raise the child moving forward.
Should be.
Right. Yep, should be, exactly. The government would love no more than to tell a woman that she cannot have an ocean or can have an abortion, because the government will end up taking care of the child. Food stamps, welfare, subsidized housing, all of these different levels of care for a mother. All of it comes from the government. So why not the government take part in the decision making for a woman?
That's true.
That's real deep.
That is true. That is very true.
Yeah, so they wind up taking care of it. Well, really, the government actually may wind up taking care of it, but the man eventually got to come around and pay child support. And so they get that back. I mean, they're going to try to make sure they get theirs back. But I do think the government should have some part in it. And this is the part I think the government should play. After a certain, because some people want to have abortions after the baby's born. I ain't never heard. I can't say. Or after you get 8 months, 9 months, then you want to go have an abortion. I think that that should have been long taken care of, even if you had to do
Yeah, I
it.
mean, you should at least have to have it done before the baby, have
Well,
a heartbeat.
agree. And my 2 cent worth in that is that not only, and now I'm gonna jump on the woman. Not only do the man know what it takes to make the baby, she do too. And I think Arthur was talking about out here with the signs. We should have the right to have abortion. I totally agree that if you're able to carry a sign saying you should have that right, that
Thank
you are able to make the decision since you know what it takes to make a baby,
thank
not to have the baby so you would even have to move to
you.
An
Yeah,
abortion.
that
yeah,
realm.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree to
you're
that.
right.
Now, this is an interesting
But
comment
it's
right
a
here.
woman's fault too, has the right to tell that man to use protection.
It's the woman's fault, but it's the woman's fault to women has a right to tell that man to use protection. Yeah, I
I mean, but to be honest, it is some truth to that comment because
yeah,
if you tell a man to put on something and then you end up pregnant, you want to get an abortion, then hey, y'all crossed that bridge.
right.
You understand what I'm saying? I can't be like, oh, why is you doing this?
That's not
And
rape
all
or
of
nothing like that.
I mean, no, I mean you can't say it's rape or nothing like that.
Right.
But if she doesn't want to have it, he shouldn't have the voice that we're talking about.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right, right,
I
right.
mean, that's just,
You're basically saying that if she asked him to use some
he
kind of
wasn't.
protection and he did not, I mean, I can go with that, but I can also say if she asked him to use and he refuses, why did you go ahead and
Yeah,
Well,
that's what I'm talking about.
it don't necessarily have to be she refuses. It could just be that he didn't.
Well,
you know what I mean? I mean,
Well, she still got the final choice. See, in all
I mean,
these matters, she got the final choice.
I'm not
Flo.
saying that she knowingly like he did it without her knowing.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if they could tell or
Right.
not, but
okay?
Yeah.
they pretty sure they can.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
that's
like
what
Arthur just said. All of this and everything everybody's talking about, at the end of the day, it's going to be the individual person to make a decision on what they can live with. I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. For me, and this is me personally, I feel like that every seed that is brought into fruition, that is a child that God had a hand in it. This is me. That God had a hand in it and God got a purpose for that child. Now, some of my problem come in is that some that have the abortion, that might have been the very child that was going to have the cure for that disease that I'm going to end up with. So just putting that out there or something like that. So, but the whole thing come down to this. It's a choice. Whether you have it, whether you don't, it's a choice. Whether you sleep with them, whether you don't, it's a choice. Whether you protect yourself or whether you don't, it's still a choice. No human being should be so out of control that they cannot rationally think what is possible, the outcome of this situation.
Yeah, that's where accountability comes in at. And I seem to think there's not enough accountability. I mean, everybody wants, you got two sides out here. And this thing is so political. And then you got to go with stuff like this. Okay, if y'all saying the baby ain't got a heartbeat till he this, that, and that far along, and the baby's not a baby to this. But if you go out and a pregnant woman gets shot, they charge him for two people. They charge him for two people, two lives that they just said it wasn't even a life. Now, how do you stand on the other side of the pendulum and say, well, look, this baby ain't even a baby until it's born and until it gets to 4 or 5 months. But if a pregnant woman at 2 months or 1 month or something and she was pregnant, they uncharge this person for two lives. It's like a double standard. I mean, and that's the political part of this thing.
Well, I think if the government want to get involved, I think the government need to take it a step further. I think when people get pregnant, they should have some kind of initial meeting with the mother and the father. I think they should, I mean, whether it's at a clinic or at the hospital or the abortion clinic or whatever, I think they should have something to where they can see where both parents stand in the matter moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. I
You
think
know
that
what I mean?
I think that would be a good way to go.
Yeah,
I mean, because it's the
because
two people got to get together
I mean, because it need to be some kind of way where a man need to be, if he
in the
don't
picture.
in the picture some kind of way. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, a man don't want to have a baby. The woman had a baby. He end up on child support. It's just it's a whole cycle of government stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
gonna
get
be
right involved in it, right in, like a commenter said. They gonna get in the middle of it.
Yeah, they definitely is.
That's when they come into play.
Well, I agree with them because they're going to be the one that end up having to
Yeah, we have resources.
probably maybe take care
You know,
of that child.
Woman that have unprotected sex, then I'm man enough to conquer whatever comes behind that. Well,
Yeah, but
be a
every
lot.
man is not like that. We lost
Yeah.
Mary again.
Yeah.
Every man is not like that though. That's the whole problem. Every man ain't gonna want to take care of his child. Every man is not gonna want to take care his children.
Did he need to make the decision beforehand that he don't want any children and do what is necessary not to have them?
Right.
I can give you that.
Because we're talking about whether the man want to or not. The bottom line for me, the bottom line is that once he choose to sleep with that woman, knowing that she can get pregnant, he did make a choice.
But I think
Whether she come up pregnant or not, he made a choice.
Yeah, but I think we're talking about responsibility in an irresponsible act.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's what kind of make it tricky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because we asking people to be responsible, but this, sex is based off of being irresponsible.
Yeah.
It is. It's just an irresponsible act.
Well, just like the person said, the man can go from woman to woman every night and create a child. He can, but then he need to know his responsibility, because think about it, and this is too some of why the government get involved, because the man knew what the potential consequences was going to be from going from woman to woman and sleeping with them. It ain't like they went into this in a vacuum and they was dumb. They knew there was a potential child with that one, a child with that one, a child with that one. And why should they not take care of what they helped to create, whether they wanted the child or not? Because they could have stopped.
But it's either one the victim. But when a baby is made, who is the victim?
Yeah.
Is the mother? I'm not going to say is the mother the victim?
The baby.
The baby is the victim. Absolutely. Okay. That's the biggest victim in all of that, especially if the baby wasn't made with intent, which that's the way it's supposed to be done.
That's the way that it never is.
The baby is always the one that's going to come last. I mean, it's not even about the baby. It's about child support. It could be about the government getting involved. They want to be in the control. I personally believe that the government want every type of way they can to control the man. If you bind the strong man, the house is easily taken over. Okay. And if you first bind the strong man, okay, then the house is easily taken over. So what we do, we bind the man and we take him out of the situation. I am definitely on board with whoever put that post up there that says that the man should have been the first ones on birth control pills.
Yeah, that is definitely.
I'm just saying that I really do.
Birth control should be for men.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Birth control shouldn't even be for women.
Exactly.
It should be for men to take.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Birth control should be for men.
Right.
And just like the point you said, Miss Mary, that combats that. If the man had the power, then it would be different.
Mm-hmm. If the man could be pregnant,
if the man, you know what? I do think that sometimes the man knowing that a child can be created slows him down a little bit. So think about if he had that power.
If he had that power, I think he'd be more selective.
I don't.
I think
he's not selective, and he don't have the power.
I mean,
some, and we not, and this is not a general statement.
but that
And
was
this is not a general statement for all men. This is or all women. This is
Right.
for people who make the choice. I'm gonna say it like that. For people who make the choice to handle their lives carelessly.
Yeah.
I mean, and that comes from human beings because we cannot move away from the fact and see, and I'm a strict believer of the Bible, whether anybody else is or not, that we are born in sin and shaped in iniquity. So even the going around, even the free sex, that's, well, I don't know if I can say that word on here. Even even going around from person to person, it is part of the cultural of not knowing God. So that is part of the nature that we are born into sin, shaped into iniquity.
Yeah,
And except God bring about the change, this is where we are.
and to to kind of combat with the customers what the person in the comments said. If you do get a man an abortion first, it's less kids, but it could possibly cause other problems, more disease, more stuff like that.
Yes.
Because they definitely could cause more disease.
Well,
because I don't think a man who no, he not planting no seeds just go be more responsible.
I don't either.
Yeah. Well, that don't mean he'll be more responsible, but that means that he would be more selective. I believe he would be more selective.
Yeah, but would he feel any need to use any condoms?
Well, I mean, everybody should be clean, but they're not.
We already have that established. That's established.
But let's get to a couple of these comments.
We got nursing home situation when the CNA raped the patient that you convertible and is in a paralyzed state.
Yeah, from the neck down. He was in jail. She's very much pregnant. What are you doing?
In that situation right there.
Yeah, I remember that when the man was raping the women that was paralyzed and stuff like that in the in the hospital. And and the woman is very much pregnant. Now I don't know what you do with a situation like that.
I think that goes in the is there in the exception?
Yeah, exactly, category.
Because that is an exception, but just think about, because the only way he got caught is because the woman ended up pregnant. So if he had that free reign of birth control, he would have just kept on going from woman to woman in the nursing home with no idea of getting caught unless somebody just walked in on him.
So let me ask you this. I'm not saying you saying this, but this is just a question. Is a man too irresponsible for birth control?
I don't think.
No, I don't think. I think just like in everything, you got some, even with the women, you got some that will and some that won't. And again, I go back to choice. Some people are going to be more responsible with their lives, with their bodies, with what they do. And some people just going to be irresponsible. That's just kind of the name of the game. Because remember, again, we're born in sin, shaped into iniquity. So this is what's out there in the world right now, that moral values are gone because everyone, as the scripture says, that as it was in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the last days, because everyone is doing what they feel like is right in their own mind. In their own mind. So it don't really roll down to would they be more irresponsible. No, it's just the quality of the person that you're talking about.
Let me switch gears a little bit, Pastor. Let me switch gears a little bit and ask you this. Do you think that this government of ours, are pushing to have abortions in a certain demographic? Because now they let all these people come across the border and they having baby like flies. Then you don't see all them pushing abortion like that. Do you see a bunch of Latinos out there pushing for abortion? Do you see all these people out there? They having 5 and 6 and 7, 8, and the government taking right care of them and ain't doing nothing. So I mean, is it a war on blacks, or is it a war on black and white babies, and not a war on foreign babies or nothing like that? Because I see them spitting them out and carrying one in the belly and trailing 3. I mean, I'm just saying, and and I don't see them out there marching up front talking about having no abortion.
Well,
They ain't even going for it.
And to say this too, a lot of African women do that too. A lot of African women have a whole bunch of babies and one on the chest and one
trailing, and trailing with three.
I mean? So
but it seems like to me it's some type of thing that's going around that they really, and especially I've noticed it in their African American pretext, because that gets more black women riled up than anything about wanting to have abortions.
Well, I think we need to look at the numbers and see who's having them. Well, I think that's the way to get the answer for that. When we can see who's having abortions.
Yeah.
And I would believe, I'm not knowing this for fact, but I would believe that it probably is more blacks than any other.
Well, I'm just gonna say it like this: that the government, listen, anybody can put anything out there that they want to. So even if, I'm not saying it is and I'm not saying it's not, even if that was the government's agenda, why are you making it happen?
Well, that's true.
I mean, if it's their agenda, why are you making it happen? And what I mean by that is, if their agenda is to push abortion in the black community, if you will, then why are you going around creating these babies for it to even be a part of what's trying to stop?
And I say that all the time about our people, Ms. Mary. We let the government go in the huddle and design the play, and then they just come out and say, down, ready, set, hut, and we just run it to the T. First down, touchdown every time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We do a good job of executing what they want done.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we do.
Yeah, we fall right for the okie doke every time.
I mean, you look at these our people that's even getting money these days.
Right.
The first thing they do is go buy jewelry and cars and all this stuff. Don't nobody buy no land. Don't nobody secure no business or put no mutual funds together or insurance policies on everybody.
Well, blow. Let's not say nobody.
Well,
but let's just say,
I'm gonna say most of us select.
A lot.
More than it should be.
Right.
More than
But now I got to say that that's a lot of where the Latinos are too. They're not really going out and doing a lot of that either. They're not. And a lot of times you got to go back to the foundation of this country. A lot of times that comes from the mentality that have been put out there and the hardships even trying to buy land and to get ahead and all of that kind of stuff that the president has already been set. So that's why. Now the problem comes in is that as a father, when you know where your children are, as a mother, when you know where your children are, you start teaching them at the knee about God, about finances, about living in this world. That's where it starts. Then you will see the next generation begin to gain that wealth. And I even see it now that a lot of young black entrepreneurs are out there trying their best to set up to go forth.
Right. Well, let's see.
Now some of them charge double the price of the other ones, so it make it hard for us to support them. But as much as we can, we need to support our own. And then they need to look at the prices and make sure they are comparable with the other nationalities of people, to make sure that we are coming to their store, because you're going to look for the best bargain. That's the bottom line.
Right.
Yeah, but that do make sense. What the person in the comments just said. You know, when the government is involved and the government is trying to, in a sense, abolish abortion, that is just making more hardship for the people who babies will be born. That's going to create more child support, more Medicare, more Medicaid, more all of those things, more food stamps, more everything. More, we are the government and we are here to help you.
Yeah, and if you ever heard that, run.
So can I? So then, can I then say, if the government abolish and it's going to make more on the government, you know it, So don't let it happen. We
Well,
back to choice and
yeah,
accountability. If you
accountability.
know
I
it's
think
out
that's it.
there, why are you continuing the same scenario when you know what the end results are gonna be? It's
Yeah,
time for a mind change.
yes, ma'am.
Well, did we ever come to a conclusion on where accountability stands with who
Well,
and primarily?
Everybody.
I think we can agree that it does. It is. I mean, I can't say that it's the woman's fault, and the man, do play the role in it.
A small role, but he only has a small role.
He doesn't have. I mean, he has the
You got a
baby
big
in it.
role.
The baby
That's
has to
right.
be playing. The baby's on
That's
that man.
right.
Yeah,
The
Yeah.
seed is in the man.
yeah.
The
The
seed
seed
is
is
in the
in the
man,
man.
and the man know this. So I think the accountability is for all. It's where everybody's mindset is. So
Right,
you have a man that don't want a child, but he don't know the woman who may be wanting a child. So what you
right,
think gonna
right.
happen?
Yeah,
She
And,
gonna have a
and
child without him. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and you're
But
right.
so
let me ask everybody out there that's watching this show. Do you think then that what Blow proposed earlier about if a woman gets pregnant and decides to try to get an abortion, that she should that you first got to sit down with the man in front of somebody, an arbitrator, and work that out? Because if the man wants to keep the baby, okay, and she wants to get rid of it, that it just can't happen like that without his say so.
Yeah, or the other way around. If
Right.
she want to keep it and he don't want to have it, he don't go on child support when the baby
Right,
born.
exactly. Should that be? I want to hear from y'all in the comments. Should that be a thing?
But would that be fair, Ms. Mary? Would that be fair? If I don't, if she don't want to have it and I do want to have it and she's allowed to abort it, and then she want to keep it and I don't want her to have it, I shouldn't be able to. They
Yeah.
should be able to say, I'm not okay. So she got the right to say, forget what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
exactly.
And don't have a baby.
That's the whole part.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but if it's the other way around, I don't be
You
exempt
still,
from child
you
support.
still
I don't get nothing out of it. I still gotta go on child support. So that's
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about.
That's why it should be an arbitrator.
Yeah,
right?
well,
And that's what the arbitrator job should be to decide.
but Blow, and I hear that, and I see where you are, and I get that, but then I'm gonna go right back. We just said earlier that the child is always the victim, and so because that man who got the seed decided that he did not want to take any kind of precaution, and now she's pregnant. Now she wants the baby. This baby still got to live in this world. And he still need that male figure to help him be a man if it's a man child. Or that father figure to help that daughter to know she's precious and she's loved. So a lot of men's not that mature, now a woman's is not that mature. But because he went into it still knowing what it takes in order and knowing that he carried the seed, then whether he wants a child or not, I feel like he still need to be responsible for helping that child to live in this land.
Well, let me put it in this scenario, because I think now I will agree with you on this type of scenario. Say this we're just gonna put it in perspective. Say Tom Brady, he sees the girl he wants to get with. He don't want to get this girl pregnant, but this girl died and have a baby by Tom Brady. You feel me? Now, it's something in that scenario. Tom Brady, I feel like better responsibility. You see what I'm saying? Because he knows that this girl is trying to have a baby by him. Because look, he got all this loot and all of this other stuff going for him. Now, at that point, I believe that he should be more responsible. In the regular situation of the regular two people, I really believe that since the man don't have all the options that a woman got, and he's got very little say so at the end of the day, that she should be held more accountable. That's
why.
I mean, in that situation. But now in the other situation, and that this girl is trying to have your baby and all of this, that, the other, I feel like you better be responsible for that. Or you get the Ray Caruso syndrome and all of that.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, we know how all that went.
Yeah.
Yeah. and that's crazy. And he should have been more responsible because he knows the situation and the thing that he was in, and that girl was actually trying to have his baby.
And that's the situation Tom Brady could end up in.
Right. Exactly. That's the situation he could end up in.
Wonder if he don't know she's trying to have his baby, but she is.
He gonna know. He gonna know.
There's great step parents.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are great step parents. But by the same token, I still think it comes down to who is not wanting a child at this time in their life. They need to make sure that they are responsible and accountable for what they do.
Yeah.
Whichever one is not wanting a child at this time in their life, they need to make sure they are responsible and accountable for what they do.
Yeah, because people just go into the bedroom not knowing the other person's headspace when it refers to.
Well, let me ask you this: making them to have that kid and take care of it, would you think that make it be more responsible? I mean, I'm just saying, okay, y'all two knew better, both of you. Okay, the blame's gonna go on both of you. Okay, so now somebody steps in and say, since y'all both knew this situation, you're gonna go have this baby, you know what I'm saying? And you're gonna take care of it. Simple as that. Know yourself. But I think that's the stand that a lot of pro-lifers do take. They take it to the extreme. And they look at it in that situation.
And I say this all the time too. If the government stayed out of it, a lot of issues would be fixed on their own. And what I mean by that be, if a dad didn't want to take care of their kid and a mama had it, right now she don't have to put up with that. She getting checks, she getting food stamps, she getting child support. If she wasn't getting those things, man, he'd be in the house watching TV and it'd be a knock on the door. And when he get to the door, they'll be pulling off and the kid will be standing there.
But the whole thing with the food stamps and the $220 check a month, that does nothing but keep them in a cycle of poverty. And if you have a woman that do not want to stay in that cycle of poverty, she is going to have a hard time raising that child on her own, because she's going to be out there trying to get it. And then what you're going to have is a latchkey kid with no supervision while they're trying to work. No supervision. So then you're going to end up calling that child maybe a bad kid. Why? Because I'm going to go back to the foundation. It was meant for two people to have a baby and to raise that baby. If you ever notice that if you got a father and a mother walking hand in hand with that child, and that child come to an obstacle, one on each side can pick that child up and help them over the obstacle. When you got a single father or a single mother walking along, then when they get to that obstacle, it's a little harder to get them over it.
Well, I agree with that.
I just think it's that small incentive that makes such a big difference in what's going on with the man in today's society. That those little small $220 in food stamps and those little checks, that make the difference between a man being in the, because at the end of the day, that little check makes a woman feel like she don't even need the man.
Right, exactly.
Without that, she would acknowledge the fact that she needs a man.
Right, absolutely.
Because the
I agree with that.
Step in. It's just that little small step that the government made that makes a woman feel like I'm doing this on my own.
Right, and when you're really not ever doing anything on your own, and when you can get housing, when you can get a check and somebody give you stuff, now it's still taking the man out of the picture.
It's still keep you in the poverty. It's still keep you in the poverty cycle. But a lot of time the man don't want to be in the picture. Let's look at that first. And then the second thing, that comment that somebody just made that they ought to pay 50-50, I totally agree. I totally agree.
I do too. That would stop a lot of it. Yeah. That would stop a lot of it. The 50-50 split on everything, even child from birth on, that would stop a lot of stuff. It would solve a lot of problems. You know, just
That
that 50-50
that
and knowing
that
that that's gonna
includes
happen.
that includes 50-50 parenting too,
Yes, absolutely.
which means it
Absolutely.
should
I
not
agree.
be all on the mother to take that
Right.
child where they want to go to the doctor. The father need to have just as much
Right.
half and half on that. So if
I
we tell
agree.
them 50-50, we all go. But then I'll go right back to the very foundation. If we do it the right way, some of these problems will disappear and the
Yeah.
government won't have to, and we'll not be in it.
Yeah. And that's the last thing that we actually want in it, because whatever the government has ever gotten in, you can go back. It's not turned out very well. Everything from Social Security to
But
clocks and big trucks to everything they do,
but
infrastructure, you name it.
but then what you gonna do out there? So let's just throw this scenario out there. So you got a woman now. She has this baby. Whether the father wanted it, whether he did not, it don't matter now. The
Right.
child is here, and the child must live. And now
Right.
you have this woman who say she don't even have support. She don't have any family anywhere around. But now she still got to get out here, try to work in order to try to help her and that child somewhere decent to live and not be on the street. What now do you want to do if the father not happy? There's no other support whatsoever. So then, yeah, somebody got to step in. It used to be the churches. We know that the Black Panthers made a big dent in starting that WIC program, period. But but nobody is doing that now. So the government had to take on that parent role because one parent was absent, or they found the children on the street corners, or they found them beat up and thrown in garbage cans and all of this kind of stuff. Because if you get a woman who trying to raise a child by herself, she got postpartum, she gets so caught up with just trying to make it, the child may not make it
Well,
outside of the womb.
is that any kind of incentive to not to get pregnant and use some of those
Well, we did.
contraceptives,
That's
those
what we've
other
been
things
saying the
that's
whole
not to get?
time. It
Well,
started with
I'm
a
just saying.
choice and responsibility. Don't get pregnant. Yeah,
Right.
don't get pregnant, man. Don't get her pregnant.
Right. Right. Oh boy, that's all. It's really hard. I mean, this is really a tough subject because
It's hard
we always
because it's
use it.
outside. It's outside of what man was created to do and to be. That's why
Yeah.
it's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Because it
And
really is. And
yeah,
And in a lot of scenarios in life right now, that's what it is. Everything is out of order.
it's out of order. Right. Because it's out of its
yeah,
natural order. Everything
yeah.
taken out of its natural order creates chaos.
Yeah, because you don't have these problems. If you meet
Um,
somebody, y'all date for a while, y'all become husband and wife, y'all make a child. The way
Right.
that
It's supposed to do. Designed or ordained to do.
Ordained to do.
Yeah. And it's outside the norm. And then you interject the government, it really goes haywire. Because then you start getting all this extra stuff that we got in here today. And, you know, I ain't even going to get into all of that other stuff because, you know, what that is. And raising kids and all of this and all of this other stuff. But, you know, at the end of the day, I think that the accountability issue is a big, big part of it.
Yes,
Okay.
very.
If we
Yes,
got the
very.
contraceptives, use them, please.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think some kind of mediation should be the government. If they're trying to put any thing in abortion, it need to be some kind of mediation at the decision moment.
Right.
There needs to be something put in place because there's a lot of people running down there, which only can be a woman. Only a
Right.
Yeah.
woman can run down there without a man. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? And if
Right.
he go with her, it's because she want him there. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right.
So it needs to be some kind of second signature, some kind of finalized agreement on it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
I think
Because
so
I
too.
don't think it's fair for a woman to not want the baby and don't have it, and then the man want it, and it still don't
Yeah.
come.
Well, maybe they need to go back to what they used to do when once you got pregnant, there was that what they call shotgun wedding.
Yeah, I'm with that. Yeah, that's gonna hold everybody accountable and responsible.
The government abolished that.
Yeah, they would because they don't want. Well, the government
They don't
got more to lose than anybody.
And they don't want the family structure together. That is the
That's
biggest
the, that's
that is
it.
the biggest fear in America. They don't want this Everything is going, like I said, down, ready, said, hey, this is it.
Yeah. Yeah.
The government can't abolish that if it's in the home with the parents.
Yeah.
It's when you put your business out into the government. Somebody made a comment. I didn't get to see it.
What was it saying?
I don't know. I didn't get to see it.
Yeah, the one that went up, that's the one we about to post before we get out.
Before we get out of here. Yeah. And, this has really been an interesting show because so many people just think that, I think that my rights as a woman is being stripped and taken, but you really, your rights is really not being taken because you have the right to not get pregnant. What about that right?
I mean,
I'm just saying that's the first right that you got that you do not choose to take, but you feel like somebody's taking your right to have an abortion when you got the right not even to get pregnant.
And I agree with you on that, Art.
I'm just saying, man, that's just the way it is.
But one thing my mom had said to me one time is, even if they take it away and they do all that, you just gonna have women going in the back hallway, alleys, and in little messed off places doing unsanitary abortions.
Well, I get that too.
And that kind of stuff is real too. So,
well, I mean, I guess that's real, but still, it would be less than that if we would get out and really promote not getting pregnant in the first place, rather than promoting abortion
or promoting the sex conversation. That's what it really boiled down to. Ain't nobody communicating about nothing.
You got the right to not want sex from her too. Yeah, absolutely, you got that right. But I can't get pregnant. That's the whole point of the matter. I can't get pregnant. So knowing that is a problem.
Yeah, but knowing that and knowing that you don't want a child, take precaution.
Well, I agree with that.
Don't leave it to the woman. Don't leave it to the woman.
Yeah,
I agree with
that.
Man,
I just went out again.
What you go the stuff you gonna end up in, you better not.
Yeah, exactly.
I just went out again.
Yeah, but no, you still here.
Oh yeah, she done jumped in again. Yeah, you still here. We go ahead.
Still here.
Yeah, we go ahead and get ready.
Yeah, I lost.
Yeah.
You still here, but you not. Your camera's not on. But still, we lost it again. Anyway,
we're gonna get
this has been a great subject and a great topic. I just feel like the government has too much play, and they out there promoting things that they don't have to promote, and I think they promote the wrong thing. If you promote not getting pregnant in the first place instead of promoting abortion, I think that you'll be better served putting those resources into showing them, since you're not pregnant at all right now, and you don't have to get pregnant. And that's a big deal.
And I think the pastor made a lot of good points in the
Bible,
the way the natural order is supposed to be, and we can't lose sight of the fact that the government is to alienate the family the way that it's supposed to be.
Yeah, they want to keep the family structure towed down because a strong family is not good for the government.
And like I was saying, Pastor, if they didn't incentivize the breaking up of the natural house the way it's supposed to be, we wouldn't have this problem with all these men being on child support. These women would, in a sense, force the man to do what he's supposed to do.
Exactly.
I'm telling you.
Bring that baby right over there and leave him.
Your mama calling and be like, you better go get these kids. She done dropped all these kids off. You better go get these kids. But that's simple. That little $220 in those food stamps give her that extra power to say, you know what? I don't need him or his family. I can do this on my own.
Let me tell you, trust me, that little bit of food stamp and stuff don't really do that. I mean, they got a little bit more freedom, but it really don't bring them up out of poverty. But this is the thing right here. If you know, and I'm gonna say it again, I done said I think this is the third time. If you know what the government's incentive is, why are you keep doing what they can use against you?
Yeah, that's a fact.
You're right.
That's just it. If you know it, like Mayo said, if a person tell you who they are the first time, believe them. If you know what the government is doing, then stop doing what you doing so that they can get in your business.
Right. Well, you're right. This has been an interesting show. We want to thank everybody for coming in.
This has been one of my favorites.
My favorites too so far. This is one of my favorites so far because it's an interesting topic. And Mary, Pastor, we glad you came on because it was interesting. I agree with a lot of what you said because it was true. And I think that we all should take precautions and understand that the government really ain't our friends in this matter. You know what I mean? So I guess we all got to step up and do what's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, me and Art, we're going to continue to bring you more episodes just like this one, between what I say, what Art say, what Miss Mary said, what's in the comments. The truth is in there somewhere.
Right. So we ought to do it. It's one thing for certain.
It's two things for sure.
We're going to tell the truth.
Because it's time.
It's time to tell the truth. We'll see y'all next week. Thank everybody for joining in.
Thank you again, Miss Mary.
And thank you, Mary.
All right. Y'all have a good one.